They say that the human race is doomed, that we have lost touch with our true nature, that the media has corrupted us, and that the planet has no future. I disagree. I believe that humanity is full of hope, and that our salvation lies within each one of us. My name is Brian Rose, and my job is to listen, the oldest method of learning known to man. Each week I seek out individuals that are changing the world, people who are living and thinking in a different way. Their stories will challenge your beliefs, make you question your choices, and perhaps inspire you to change. I never planned on doing any of this, but now I can't stop. Join me on this mission and make humanity something we can all be proud of.
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Merle Tracey Galloway, recent graduate of our Business Accelerator. Welcome.
Thank you, Brian.
Tell us about you. Where are you from? What do you do?
I'm from Montserrat, a small, beautiful island in the Caribbean. There's only 5,000 of us there. And you may know us from the volcano, because we had a volcano in 1995. Right. So that disrupted about 2/3 of the population. And so we were about 12 before. I know it's a small block in London, but we were about 12,000 before, and now we're down to 5. Wow. And we're still a colony of England, actually, so we're British.
Wow. And so what's that like? So it went from 12,000 people down to 5 because of the volcano eruption?
Right. So about 2/3 of the island became an exclusion zone because of the damages that happened to the island. And then now it's moving back where you can now inhabit some of those areas that were considered exclusion before. But it disrupted the economy, disrupted schooling, disrupted families, because a lot of people actually moved here to England, just to create a semblance of a life, because there was so much uncertainty that happened because of the volcano.
Okay, and I guess that trauma probably carries over to today's life and culture.
It does, but also too, there's a certain resilience in the people of Montserrat. Right. So when people come there, it's just amazing, because on one hand you see like the gray from the volcano, but then you see like green on the other side. So you see like nature, like in all its transformation. And then it kind of just helps you like, you know what, this happened and now I'm gonna rise up from the rubble type thing. Yeah. So it's kind of likened to like a modern day Pompeii, where, you know, it's just like transformation happening before your very eyes. Yeah,
and you describe that whole tragedy with this Caribbean smile. So it's like you're talking about it like it was this bad event, but it wasn't necessarily bad.
Right, because it's like being able to see a country build again from scratch. So now you could put things in place and make things the way you want them to be made.
Right.
You know.
Right. And what was going on in your life to seek us out in the Business Accelerator? What was going on personally and with your business and externally to come to London Real?
Well, for me, I had a lot of ideas in my head, but I didn't really have that kick in the, can I say ass?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't have that kick in the ass to actually make me like put things in place. So it was always very airy-fairy. It was always up here. And what I really liked and wanted was the accountability, and I wanted that team around me to kind of make things happen. Because it's nice to like, I'm going to do this later, and you have forever, and then 2014 passes, you're where you are. 2015 passes, and you're where you are. And I was like, you know what? My 2018 isn't going to be like my 2017. I'm going to make things happen. I'm going to make things real. I'm going to stop being in my head and actually just take the plunge and go forward.
And did you have a business or a business idea when you started?
Yeah, I did. I had, I used to help women before in terms of health goals, but it was something I did, but it wasn't as fast moving and it wasn't as on track as I, in my head, wanted it to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you kind of knew what you were going to go in. And what were your friends and family thinking, or were you worried about what they would be thinking when you pulled the trigger on the course?
Not when I pulled the trigger. I was more worried when I was doing my master class. I'm like, oh my goodness, they're going to see me, you know, present this master class, and I'm going to be judged. And that was my biggest fear of like them thinking like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then there was this part of me with an imposter syndrome thinking, should I really be doing this? You know, am I qualified to be sharing this information? So that was my biggest fear.
Okay, and why London Real?
I liked the testimonials. I liked what you put out there. I was following you for a while in terms of some of the episodes that you put forward. And I think our stories are kind of similar in terms of not being happy with what we were doing and wanting to do something else. And so that's why I chose it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you pulled the trigger and you're dropped in to the Business Accelerator. You've got all these people from around the world. They're now your classmates. You've got these modules. I'm asking you to do this stuff, the accountability doc, the live calls. What's that experience like for you?
I actually realized a lot about myself in terms of me working well with deadlines. And I liked that the deadlines wrapped into the program because it actually made me do it. And I also realized how much I put pressure on myself to be overly perfect. I still haven't gotten out of it completely, but I'm a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the perfectionist in you wants to spend a month on the website, and I'm giving you 7 days.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did it, but you noticed that normally that would be...
Right. And I've been planning on getting my website done 3 years. And so I'm able to get it done in a week, you know. It looks great. And it's functional. You know, it gets the job done, which is the point.
Yeah.
And before I was like, oh, I need to pay somebody $5,000 to have it right. I need to go take a photo shoot. I need to do all these things. And it's not that difficult.
Yeah, and not only is it functional, it actually is generating you leads.
Yeah.
And so it's an incredible business tool. So that's awesome. What did you struggle most with in the course? What was the toughest part?
I struggled most with Module 5 because I was changing my business concepts. Because as I said earlier, I came in kind of thinking what I knew what I wanted to do. And then when I did my my blogs, like people were responding to me sharing my story in terms of getting rid of my fibroids. And you know, there was just so many questions in terms of like, am I on the right track? So for me, it was like moving back and forth because my passion is actually sharing and getting people out of their head in terms of health.
Right.
And so in Module 5, I just felt uncertain, like, am I choosing the right niche? And, you know, after I spent so much time going out in Module 0 and Module 1, you know, I just felt uncertain, like, if this is the right path.
Okay, what did you decide?
To really go forward and like follow that passion in terms of like really helping people feel empowered about their health and wellness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the community. What's it like having all these people from around the world you never met going through this with you, and then what's it like to be here in London and meet them?
It's like a crash course in life because I've learned so much about movement, about languages. You know, it's just because everybody has a different niche, but then you realize that everybody really wants to help people. And that even though they're using different tools like language and movement and food and just the different topics, they all want the same thing. They really want to make a difference. And so it's kind of surreal seeing people from class live in person, but it's like coming home. It's like being with your family.
It's like coming home.
Yeah.
I like that. How was the master class for you when you had to actually get out there and sell your product to people on a live situation?
I put too much pressure on myself.
You're a
It was actually
perfectionist.
fun doing it, but before I did it, I broke down. I was bawling. I was like, oh my God, you know, and I just put way too much pressure on myself. I was like crying. I was, you know, extremely nervous. But in the end, it came up, and it was actually really empowering where people saying, wow, thank you for sharing this. I really enjoyed it. I want to learn more. So for me, that was really a good chance to listen to what people wanted and really to give them more information.
Now, I called you out on the live call and asked you to basically teach the class a lesson in hustle. And can you talk about how you hustled for that webinar?
Yeah, I actually sent out, it wasn't annoying. I think my messages were good.
Of course they were.
But I messaged every single person on my WhatsApp list, and it wasn't just like a global WhatsApp. I actually spent the time and selected each person, messaged them. And I tried sending messages on Facebook, but Facebook blocked me.
That's a good sign.
But my eyes were killing me at the end because I was just glued to my screen, and I would just do it in half-an-hour segments, you know, sending messages. But I felt like, wow, I'm actually really, you know, reaching out and really sharing valuable information. So I felt like, at first I was like, if I send a message, they're going to judge me and they're going to think, what is she doing? And they'll think I'm spamming them. But at the end I was like, if I don't share my message, who will? And like, if I keep this inside my 2017, it's going to be like my 2018, and I don't want that.
So you always went back to your why,
Yeah.
and then you reminded yourself of the pain point to get through the fear.
Exactly.
Okay. And how many courses did you end up selling?
11.
Wow. So you got a class
Yeah.
that you're taking through.
Yeah.
When does the class start?
It actually started, my master class finished on the Saturday, and my class started on Monday. And for me, one of the things I said was, Merle, why do you put so much pressure on yourself? I could have delayed it for another couple of weeks or a month, but I went head on in terms of having it start, and that put way too much pressure on myself. But they're enjoying it. People are getting good information, and so.
Yeah, you actually did the right thing.
Okay.
You know, I think like postponing anything, what's the point? And again, you're going to deliver wow, your students are going to be there, you're going to learn more, and you'll be in a position faster than anyone else to do the next course or your prime offering. So why does Merle put so much pressure on herself?
I don't know. I think it's just a Caribbean thing. I think it's just.
Is it?
I think it's just a Merleism. I think it's just something I do, wanting to make sure that my customers get the best value. But I think people just appreciate me sharing the information. And once I get past that, I'll be fine. But I put the pressure on, and then I learn whilst doing it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Next 12 months, we're obviously going to be watching you. You're in your team. What are the plans for your business?
Well, definitely in the next couple of months, I want to get some help in terms of a lot of the administrative things. But I want to do a lot of joint ventures, and I want to definitely expand my reach to over 300,000 people in terms of just sharing information and helping people get out of their own way. I want to be back on your show.
All right.
And I also want to do that speaking to inspire, because I do see myself on a public platform doing a lot of speaking and just sharing a lot of knowledge. But really just mainly just adding value and just helping as many people as I can.
Okay. Have you done public speaking before?
No.
Yeah, you definitely need to do public speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be scary as well,
Right.
but once you master that, you'll be a force to be reckoned with.
Thank you.
I believe. Tell me about Merle herself. If we went down on the street and we bumped into the Merle who didn't take this course, how is she different than you?
The Merle who didn't take this course, still very concerned in terms of what persons think and in terms of having things just perfect, and like in her head a lot. The Merle who took this course realizes, just do it, just get it done. You know, it's going to be okay, and people appreciate me being genuine and me sharing versus me having everything perfect and playing that part of perfectionist.
Yeah. Biggest takeaway from this course that you can share with other people? Biggest lesson you learned that could help other people?
My biggest lesson is that I'm adding value,
right,
and that people appreciate the value I'm adding.
Right.
You know, and that what I have to say, because my thing is, oh, you could just YouTube it, but you can't, because the way it's coming from me is very different from how it's coming from anybody else. And so that my message has value.
Yeah, and your customers connect with you, so that way you delivering the message is different than anybody else.
Correct.
And, I learned that too. You know, when someone relates to me as London Real, they're more open to listening and getting the messages. So yeah, that's an amazing lesson to learn. To the people that are out there that are on the edge, they're thinking, maybe I'll join the Accelerator, or maybe I'll start a business, or maybe I'll wait till next year. What do you tell them?
Do it, and do it now. Reason being is team is extremely important. And so doing it on your own can be frustrating, plus you don't have that push to get you started. Whereas here you have the accountability, which for me made me realize that I need team around me to help me to get things done. So you have the accountability, and you also have the talent, and you have somebody who actually did it. And so definitely pull the trigger, don't wait.
You sound like Dan Pena. Merle, it's been amazing having your energy on this course. You were hustling like crazy on week 7, and you were an inspiration to everybody, of just like, if you hustle and you put the work in, you go into the fear. I appreciate you telling the whole course that you were breaking down before the webinar, you know? I mean, I used to do the same thing. And so it's just practice, and that means you're doing something right. So welcome to the family.
Thank you.
For the next 12 months, let's build something really big, so big that you'll be back in this chair.
Yeah.
That'll be cool with me. But again, I think anybody watching this now can feel your vibe and your energy, and they probably want to be a part of whatever you have to teach them. So, you know, thank you so much. It's been great having you. It's been an honor having you in our academy. And let's do some big things, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
All right, thank you, Merle.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
London Real doesn't stop when the conversation ends. You see, that's when we get started. Because everything begins with a thought, and then comes the action. The London Real Academy is our global transformation platform. Here we bring together thousands of students from over 75 countries. Whether you want to build a profitable business from your passion, or learn to speak to inspire, or broadcast yourself with your very own podcast, or accelerate your life to become a high-performance person, we have the online accountability course and personal mentoring program that will make your dream a reality. Join us, and we'll take your life to the next level together. Our next Accelerator course is starting soon.